Welcome back to Great Day St. Louis. You know, we're always looking for the fastest way to tackle those to-do lists, right? But unfortunately, retirement planning doesn't really work that way. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. What truly matters is focusing on the right money moves that actually count, actually make a difference. Here to help us out is Erin Lapidus, President and Retirement Coach with JBL Financial Services. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Good morning. Great to see you.
I can't claim to be a financial expert, but I do know something about our neurotic tendencies as human beings. We tend to focus not always on the things we should be focusing on, but things that we think are priorities. And I'm sure you see this in your practice as well. So let's kind of divide this into two chunks. Let's start with what people should actually be focused on when it comes to retirement planning.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to shock a few people because the first thing I'm going to say is what's important to focus on in retirement is not necessarily about money to start. It's really important to focus on what do you see yourself doing in retirement? Where do you see yourself doing that? When do you see yourself? So how soon are you? What's your ultimate retirement goal? How quickly do you want to get there? Who do you want to be doing these things with? Really designing your new life for yourself and setting that as your goal, and then using all of our variables to figure out how long is it going to take to get there, or what do we possibly need to cut back or make changes to make the overall goal you know, as close to what you'd like as possible. I often say to clients that there is a price to being miserable. And so, you know, just because the math works initially doesn't mean that you're going to find happiness in retirement. So I think it's really important to start off with those more esoteric goals, and then of course, everything unfortunately does cost money in this life, right?
Course, right.
So then we'll have to work backwards to figure out how much will our new lifestyle cost. And for most people, it's very similar to the lifestyle they were already leading. We just get to add a few more hours back in and maybe take a little stress away.
So you're really focusing on sort of envisioning what you want out of your retired life and then working backwards to figure out what they're going to need to make that happen. But when they actually come to see you, what are the things that they are prioritizing that maybe don't deserve so much of that focus?
Sure. A lot of people are hyper concerned about taxes in retirement. Of course, we need to pay taxes. It's a price we pay, but we have found that they are generally no more than what you've ever paid while you're working. Usually they are less. So hyper-fixating on taxes in retirement, that's one component. It is important, but it is not the primary driver behind if you can or cannot be or stay retired.
Interesting.
And then the last thing I would say is being too focused on the exact investments that you're holding and trying to time the market, avoiding any potential loss. That's not how you got to where you are.
Right.
You use the power of the market over a long period of time with all of its ups and downs. It's going to happen again in retirement. So our ultimate goal is what you want to be doing and where, you know, your vision. How do we fund that? How much does it cost every month to do that? Have you saved enough to do that? And those are those two variables that we can always adjust to make what you want actually happen.
I have to imagine one of the biggest mistakes you could make is targeting a number with no basis, no research, no foundation of how you came to that number. You say, I can't quit working until I have this much in the nest egg. That's not how it really works.
No, and you could be giving up years of retirement because you didn't actually need to hit that number that maybe you read about in a generalized article, or maybe your number is larger and you don't want to give things up in retirement, so you might want to work a couple years longer to get to those ultimate goals.
I listen to you guys on the radio on the weekends, and some of my favorite moments are when you're able to tell a client, you probably could have done this a few years ago, really, if we want to get down to brass tacks. Thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little peace of mind, Erin.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. To get in contact with JBL Financial Services, give them a call at 314-863-0008. You can also check out their website. That's jblfinancial.com.